According to the Apple rumors, it looks like the next gen iPhone Pros will not have a 120Hz display. And you know what? It doesn't really matter. And here's why. Hey everybody, welcome to Know Your Tech, the show where I try to explain what all those other guys are talking about so you can better understand the tech that you're using every day. First off, what is 120Hz? Well, it's referred to as refresh rate, which basically means how smooth your screen looks when you scroll, open up apps. It measures how quickly the phone's display updates a moving picture. So measuring in hertz, the refresh rate counts the number of times the display refreshes every second that it's on. So 60 Hz refreshes 60 times, 90 Hz, 90 times, and so on and so forth. For example, games look way better on displays that have higher refresh rates. Gamers refer to this as lower latency. It takes 16.6 milliseconds to fully refresh 60 Hz. Only 11.1 milliseconds to refresh 90 Hz, and 8.3 milliseconds for 120 Hz refresh rate. Now I found that this explanation is really closer tied to monitors, because for smartphones, it refreshes line by line horizontally, but in the end, it's fairly close. Now one huge downside to having such a high refresh rate is the battery life is reduced significantly. Now Jon Prosser, Apple rumor man numero uno, reported on Twitter that the iPhone battery size could be smaller. This could be a major reason why Apple is leaving the higher refresh rate off the displays this year. Now, of course, people did get up in arms about a smaller battery. They never want to go smaller battery. But when Prosser posted the display info on Twitter, that caused a major storm among the tech nerds that's still happening today. You will have the side to say, it's not that big of a deal, the phone doesn't need it. People refer to them as Apple fanboys or sheep. Then the other side says Apple is doomed. Those are the people currently using 120Hz that think everybody should have it on their phone now. Now the best way people can show the difference on video is to shoot in 120 frames per second, slow the video down, show a 60 Hz next to 120 Hz. The difference is pretty noticeable with just scrolling in the browser. But if you watch it in normal speed, you're really not going to notice that much of a difference. However, in person, it's pretty easy to notice. You don't notice when you go from good to great, but you definitely notice going back from great to good. All of a sudden, good seems like crap. Now, one reason why the iPhone not getting the higher refresh rate is gaming apps that utilize that feature, since gaming does demand a higher refresh rate to give a better experience. Currently on Android, there are about 346,000 games in their App Store, of which only 240 apps can support up to 120 Hz. There are a few at 90 Hz as well. I looked around for what the Apple App Store games support 120 Hz, but most of the games that I found were listed for the iPad, so I'm not really sure how much that translates over to the iPhone. Now, there are currently 247,000 games on the Apple App Store, and from what I found, it seems like the number of games on the iPad that support 120 Hz is less than 100? Please feel free to correct me down below if I'm wrong, and of course give me the source as well. Now, when it comes to you, the everyday consumer, buying the iPhone Pro isn't really on your top list of priorities. I'm pretty sure you couldn't care less about what hertz the display is. All you really care about is good battery life and a good camera. Now, it does look like that Apple is going to be offering two phone sizes that aren't on that Pro level, starting around $649, as per Jon Prosser, because he's the only one I watch and I only trust him. Love you, John. I'm also not sure what iPhone 11s are going to make the cut this round. Since the iPhone SE is offered at $399 already, there was talk of a larger SE being released, as per Jon Prosser, but you know, 2020 happened. Now, of course, that larger phone would be the option if paying over $650 wasn't in your budget. You might have to wait till 2021 for that option to occur. When it comes to the greater population and those that probably make Apple the most amount of money, buying the new iPhone with just 60 Hz, they won't blink an eye at that spec, thus showing having 120 Hz on the new iPhones doesn't really matter.
Quick, duck and cover!
However, and I mean a big however, for tech fans out there, we are a small group, but we have a big voice in showing off the latest and greatest without any hesitation, especially when companies are so free-willing to give us those review units in return for our opinions. Now, there is certainly a fair amount of money to be made by Apple and other companies offering the best features. Let's not forget the mobile gaming audience, which is growing by leaps and bounds as well. It would be smart for Apple to still pay attention to this group, as the number of Android phones that are offering higher refresh rates and the amount of games that are optimized to utilize is getting larger and larger. I have no idea what the process is for app developers to upgrade to higher refresh rates. My guess is it's not easy. So Apple skipping this year could really lose a large number of those tech and gamers looking for a better experience. Now, I think the biggest thing holding back all of this faster progression of this type of technology, which I already mentioned, is the batteries. I don't think adding a larger battery is the answer, but a battery needs to be made smaller and be more powerful to happen first. As for the future of technology, of course it's going to keep moving forward. Some companies won't be able to keep up and disappear, but I don't think Apple's one of those companies. However, we're already seeing phones with 144 Hz and 244 Hz refresh rates. Now, beyond the experience of using the phone for everyday tasks, games aren't optimized for those yet, and it won't be for a while. Current features like cameras, fast charging, fingerprint technology were all tested on phones initially bought by our small group of tech nerds who wanted the latest and greatest. Now look how many phones implement all that technology and people buy them up. So I hope I was able to help at least a few of you understand this sort of up-and-coming technology. If you're one of those people that still might be interested in purchasing the iPhone Pro version, I wouldn't let this display thing hold you back. There'll be plenty of other things that you will love about this phone. If there is another topic you want me to cover, please feel free to comment down below. Well, since this is my first video in this series, I don't have a common video to point you to. So check out this playlist of iPhone SE videos, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you later.